So my full name is Siddhartha Naidu. I go by the name of Sid. I'm a documentary photographer and international development specialist. I was born in the Kingdom of Bahrain in a city called Maharak. Maharak is actually where the international airport for Bahrain is located. Almost half my life was spent in Bahrain before immigrating to Canada in 1999, where I spent the other half of my life. You grew up in Scarborough and you're used to going to other places and seeing the environment. It just looks fresh, it looks clean because these places are newly developed. When we look at Scarborough and we look at, the plazas that are there, sometimes it looks a little run down. And I think sometimes we associate that with, being gritty or, the environment's not kept to the same standards, but actually it's just because it's been there longer and there's a lot of history there. Being underserved also, it could also mean that the funding shifts a lot differently. We're an older community, I guess, in a lot of ways. We've had multiple generations kind of pass through these streets and pass through these buildings. Businesses that started over there and picked up and, became something else. So I think Wexford Heights, what I learned from Scarborough is it's a starting point for a lot of people. Scarborough made, for us has always been looking to capture the mixture of people that represented the humanity that exists here in Scarborough. Different walks of life, different ethnicities, people that have either made a name for themselves, and love Scarborough and have kind of done their own thing, or people who are just the everyday heroes and they often go unheard of, right? When we looked at Scarborough Made, it wasn't necessarily a mold that you had to fit. It wasn't necessarily just creators. So when I wrapped up Real Lawrence and I spent that year or that time, in 2014, just hitting the ground with the camera and, capturing different stories and just learning to refine my skill. I also think my strongest work as a portrait photographer and maybe the documentary side came during that era. It came where, I was actually able to look at the meaning of capturing communities that are not documented and, sharing their stories and sharing untold stories, stuff that we don't always see, right? So I feel like that for me refined me as a creator. It gave me a stronger purpose to create around things that were important to me, but also things that I think were important for the world to know. I think for me, it was always finding a way to have impact in what I do. I think that for me is always signal. And then doing things that are outside your comfort zone, right? Like chase things that are not necessarily easy. I think that's something that's also defined me because I've never necessarily taken the straight road forward. I've always looked at the journey as the entire process and looking at ways that, you can change the way that people look at the world or a community. Scarborough doesn't always have the best light in the media. I think us coming back to Scarborough was about us opening up that window to kind of see a lot of the beauty that goes unseen.